In this presentation, you're going to learn how to prepare a short informational report. And this is just a report that delivers non-sensitive data and is therefore written directly. It can be conversational and informal, but the report has to be clear to all readers. All headings, lists, and graphics should help readers grasp major ideas immediately. And remember to apply the principles we've learned in earlier chapters of conciseness, clarity, courtesy, and correctness. We're going to take a look at Model Document 9.1, which provides an example of a short informational report. Now, we've looked at this example before in section 1, but this is an informational report. It's just simply providing information using bullets. It's an overview of safety concerns, and it presents the facts without analysis or recommendations. So it's specifically providing information, and you can read over all the suggestions here of how to prepare a report like this. We've gone over this in section 1 already. Trip reports, which are also referred to as conference reports, often inform management about business trends, new procedures, innovative equipment, legal requirements, or other information that will affect their products, operations, and service. I like this, what it says here about writing a trip report. When you're writing that, you want to focus on 3 to 5 topics in which your reader will be interested in, and then just simply add an introduction and a closing. Here's a general outline for trip, conference, and convention reports. You're going to begin by talking about the event, the name, the date, the location, and then in the body you're going to summarize those 3 to 5 main points that might benefit the reader. Make sure you use headings and bullets to enhance readability. Then close by expressing appreciation or suggesting action to be taken or synthesizing the value of the trip. Itemize your expenses if requested, but do this on a separate sheet. I'm going to show you Model Document 9.3 to show you what a sample of a conference report looks like. So here is the conference report, and it looks very similar to the business report that we looked at earlier, the informational report. Here's the topic. You can see the location, the date, and then kind of tell them what the report would be about, and see how it sets off major topics with the bold headings. And so they did 2 main areas here, points, and then they used the bullets. And then I like how they you did 2 and then closed it with conference highlights. And so this is how you would do that. You can use memo stationery or plain paper with memorandum centered. Your side margins need to be set to 1 to 1.25 inches. If you're giving hard copies, sign your initials on the from line. And this is going to use an informal conversation style. Make sure you include headings and bullets to enhance readability. Use white space. And then if it's a long memo report, make sure you send it as an email attachment. Progress reports, they're also known as interim reports. They're going to describe the status of a continuing product. So these can be external or internal. And I'm going to show you a model document of a progress report. In the opening, you're going to specify the purpose, then provide background information if the audience needs some background information. You're going to describe the work completed so far, explain the work currently in progress, including personnel involved, activities, methods, locations, describe current and potential problems and possible remedies. In the closing, discuss future activities and provide the expected completion. So let's take a look at an example of a progress report. You can see that in the beginning, first paragraph, it identifies the project and kind of gives a preview of the report. And you can see our headings here are bolded. And I like how it breaks the report into segments with bold paragraph headings, and there is some white space in between. So if you integrate your headings into the paragraph, it'll save a little bit of space so it's not so long. And then in the anticipated problems, it tells the bad news as well as the good news. And then you have a conclusion by giving the completion date and describing what follows. So here are your tips, which we've gone over. But this is an example of a progress or interim report. Another report is the minutes of meetings, and this just summarizes the proceedings of the meetings. And most business post-team meeting minutes are on the intranet sites. They're posted there so that everybody can view those. If they're absent, they can see the meeting minutes. And companies usually have a template that they use for this. And then formal traditional minutes are written for more formal meetings and legislative bodies. We're going to look at a model document of the minutes of meetings. You can see up here it shows the attendees and those that were absent. And then here, this is your call to order. The notes approval of the agenda, and it describes the disposition of previous minutes. It highlights motions showing name of person making the motion. You can see here who made the motion, Adams Mark, Hotel in Denver, Malone and Powers, that's who approved it. It describes discussion. It doesn't record every word. It just kind of summarizes. Describes new business and announcements. And then it records the meeting adjournment and the next meeting date. And down here, it includes the name and signature of the person recording the minutes. So that's what the minutes of a meeting report would look like. Now, you may be asked to take minutes, so you would want to follow that pattern that we just discussed in the model document. I'm not going to go over this because we just went over this, but that's kind of the format that you would want to follow. Summary is the main points from a book report, a report, an article, a website, a meeting, or a convention. And it saves time by reducing a report or article by 85 to 95%. And executive summary is a condensed version of a long report, proposal, or business plan, concentrating on what management needs to know from a longer report. And employees are sometimes asked to write summaries that condense technical reports or periodical articles or books so that the staff or superiors may grasp the main ideas quickly. And so you may be asked to write a summary of an article, chapter, or book in your classes just to confirm that you read an article. So you may be, or you may have already done this. So when you're doing these types of reports, you want to state the main idea or purpose as well as the source of the document being summarized. Why was it written? highlight the research methods, findings, conclusions, and recommendations. You want to omit illustrations, examples, and references. You want to organize it for readability, so you want to include the headings in the bulleted or enumerated list. Make sure you don't copy. You want to paraphrase from memory, and include your reaction or overall evaluation of the document if you're asked to do that. Here is a summary. It introduces the topic, and you can see that here's your headings that we were talking about and the summary of the data from the article, and then the overall evaluation of the article.